I love the theme music. I can't get enough of it.
That is by our Leo queen, of course, Bree Ray.
Yes, Bree, a Leo queen.
Yes,
we stand.
Thank you. For sure. What's up, guys? It is Sunday, July 23rd, 2023, 7/23/23. Can you believe it? Welcome to the Zodiac Chat Line. I am your host, Tanae. As always, with my girl, Cassie. Y'all, it is Leo season. The world is on fire. There is a new Black history in Florida. And there's so many strikes. Cassie, how you doing, girl?
I'm hot. You know, I'm mentally hot, emotionally hot, physically okay, because up here in Michigan, you know, we're not getting the worst of climate change, but I'm going to go up on my soapbox real quick because we're going to talk about climate change, y'all. We're going to talk about what has happened in Cancer season in the world. I would like y'all to know that the 20 hottest days recorded on Earth since we started recording global temperatures have happened in July of this year. All 20 of them. The state of Vermont was underwater. Pennsylvania was underwater. There's a heat dome that has been sitting on top of Texas since before Cancer season, since Gemini season. I did a little digging. You know, what's been going on this Cancer season? The heat index reached 152 degrees Fahrenheit at the Persian Gulf International Airport in Iran. That's the hottest temperature ever recorded. And the heat index was only designed to go up to 136. So there's that. Phoenix is in the midst of continuing to set its record for the most days in a row of temperatures at 110 degrees or above. The previous record was 18. They are now sitting pretty at 23 the whole month of July. They had the highest low temperature ever recorded for that city at 97 degrees was the low. Climate change has been wreaking havoc all over the world. Spain is about to go into an election where they're likely going to elect a far right party because the left party wants to conserve water and the farmers want to make money. And so they are voting for the right so that, you know, they can get access to the water. So who knows what will happen to Spain's biodiversity and wetlands. The Netherlands government fell apart because they couldn't figure out how to handle immigration, which is driven by climate change. Because when mudslides and floods happen and you can't live in places anymore, you have to go somewhere. So I went through and looked at all of the records that have been broken in cities across the US in Cancer season. There are 32 cities that broke at least one of their climate records this Cancer season: Salt Lake City, Phoenix, El Paso, Flagstaff, Tucson, Baton Rouge, Death Valley, Las Vegas, Austin, Corpus Christi, Fort Worth, San Antonio, Santa Rosa, Mobile, Sacramento, Reno, Carson City, Waco, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Portland, Vancouver, Eugene, Tampa, Stockton, Billings, Montana, New Orleans, Roswell, McAllen, Texas, Laredo, Texas, the Florida Keys, and St. Paul, Minnesota. And of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 of them broke multiple temperature-related records in their city. So here's the thing, guys. This is bad news bears. This is not good times. It is reliably, according, you know, as far as we can reliably tell from science, it is the hottest it's ever been on the planet in 125,000 years. We are fully going into uncharted territory. The human race has no idea. We don't know. We don't know what is going to happen next. And what we're seeing now, I've been living in Canadian wildfire smoke all summer long here in Detroit, which has never once in my entire 20 some years of living in Michigan ever been a thing. And it's crazy. So feel feelings, feel sad about it. I think that's okay. I think we should all do that and grieve somewhat, but also, you know, get involved. There's lots of organizations that exist. Find one that's led and founded by a Black woman, preferably, or another woman of color, because They've been leading the charge on this movement. Put yourself an emergency kit together. Be prepared to just have to give up a lot of comfort. I mean, that's what's coming for us. The situation cannot last. We can't consume at the level we have been forever. The world is already showing us that. Like, we're going to have to stop burning fossil fuels and stop consuming and stop making plastic shit and stop feeding crazy amounts of grain to cows and deforesting the world so we have a place to raise pigs for cheap bacon. Like, it's all got to change. And that is end rant on climate.
Well, leave it up to a Cancer to let us know our feelings for Cancer season. And of course, to more than genuinely care about Mother Earth. I mean, I really have no more words after what Cassie said. But gather your strengths together. That's all I can say. Like, really, what is important to you genuinely, like what is really, really like at its core important to you, because at this point we on fire, y'all.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the current retrograde season we find ourselves lovely smack dab in the middle of. We have really hit we will talk about Leo season. I promise y'all we gonna get to Leo season, y'all. We can't forget about it. But first, Leo season came in with a retrograde. How she gonna do that? Sun and Venus were in Leo on Saturday. It went retrograde. And if you guys have noticed, a lot of celebrities have publicly broken up, or public relationships are having like some interesting turmoil. I feel like we're going to hear about it for a while before it's actually resolved. I don't think any of these are going to be really clean-ish breaks. But Venus will retrograde for much longer than normal. I think almost through September.
It is September 3rd or something.
So, okay, hot girl summer. So we have currently Venus retrograde in Leo, Saturn retrograde in Pisces, as well as Neptune retrograde in Pisces, Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, and at the end of August, Uranus and Mercury will also be retrograde. So now is the time to really take a minute.
And Jupiter goes retrograde in Virgo season too. So that's fun. Also, there will be 7 retrograde planets.
Oh, you mean everything except for Mars, the moon, and stuff, like the ones that aren't supposed to be retrograde? Yeah. Fun. Oh, sweet Jesus. Well,
I found it really interesting that the sun moved into Leo, its home base, where it is intended to shine, the same day that Venus went retrograde in Leo, and we've also got Mars in Virgo right now. Mm-hmm. And I feel like those 3 things combined are it's going to be like a constant tension between your ego and your desire to be seen and your inner critic, and everything telling you like, don't do it that way. Don't do it. You know what I mean? And also the nodes have moved to the Aries Libra axis, which is very much the tension between how do I do it exactly the way I want to do it, and how do I please others? And I think there's going to be a lot. Retrogrades are always a time for self-reflection and review and assess where you are. This Venus retrograde focuses on relationships and love, and even your relationship with yourself.
Yeah. And like beauty. And money. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's all of those things that make these retrogrades very important. Because you will see it again if you haven't learned it.
Yep. That part.
So I be trying to learn
Yeah.
my lessons, y'all. No, I'm just kidding. It's I really think that having the sun in Leo is really gonna have a lot more focus on people understanding what they really need aside
Hmm.
from how it reflects to other people. It's really about like, and that's I think where Leo sometimes get a bad rap about like the ego. And it's like, no, they really just want a very centered, assured person of self. And like that
Hmm.
is most important. And then everything else comes behind. So
Leos have learned that lesson that most of us would do well to learn, that it starts with you. Like you
mhm.
can't pour from an empty cup. You aren't able to shine your light on others if you can't light your own flame, you know. That's so.
Hallelujah, say a word to the congregation, girl.
But it's, I mean, it's a challenging time to embrace your confidence. Retrograde those, Saturn and Neptune retrograding through Pisces, this Pluto and Capricorn just retrograde mess, you know, before Pluto gets to go back into Aquarius. I mean, it's just inviting a lot of a questioning, a lot of questioning.
I think it's and that is like the one thing I think most people forget is that sometimes you have to ask a lot of questions to get to the right questions, because you can ask questions that won't get you the right answers, but you have to ask the right questions. And I think things like Pluto and Capricorn, questioning why is our authority or structure or government set up in this way? It really doesn't seem to be working. And all of the truths that come out from having such an intense need to put the patriarchy at such a high standard for what everybody should be held to.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just glad that I'm around to see this, because you and I have grown up in a very different time politically from when we were younger until now.
Mm-hmm.
And witnessing that along with the hottest weather, I'm almost like, is this what our generation was supposed to live to see? Like, it's crazy.
It is. And I think, it's that thing of like, are we going to go willingly to the change, or are we going to have to be drugged by our wrists to it?
Dragged. But you,
Because
girl,
it's,
we gonna get dragged.
I
That's
know,
that's the American
no,
way.
of
That's the
course,
American way.
like
I'm American. You gotta show me.
it's true. And it's just, it's hard to watch
We the
though.
best.
It really is. It's so difficult to watch and
It
to think
is. It
like
is.
we could be doing much more and we're not. But like, that's why, we have to keep pressure on and find ways to make small changes in our own lives, but also to, find representation in government systems and
I mean, there's
ways of organizing that fucking work, man.
yeah, there is, and I think it's nice to continue to see like more representation in government that
Mm-hmm.
does look like you and me,
Mm-hmm.
and other people.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's just not working. like like that. And that's just, I know, yeah, and guys, I'm laughing. Yes, I am. And I'm laughing because I think part of it is that it's absurd that it's really, this is where our government is. And we don't have to go into it because we've talked about
We
it
know.
since like all of that. But it just baffles me, because so many people have so many contributions to make to this world, and that's just the bottom line. And with that said, before I introduce my guest, I just want to tell you, I want to give a shout out to my loving Cancer uncle because he has the best self-esteem of any human I know. And when I say that, I talk to him once a week. My uncle is 71 years old. Excuse me, 71 years young. He usually we talk once a week. We'll either video chat and he'll say, "Hey, niece, this is handsome. I feel suave, debonair." He'll go in the bathroom. oh, I look good. He said, I got to look good for me every day. When I talked to him today, I said, you gave me the inspiration for my show tonight. I'm going to tell you about Leo, the way you love yourself. And that is what is so important. And that's what I love from my sister signs, Leos, is how much they love themselves. And we have found 2 Leo queens that want to come and talk to us about themselves. No surprise there.
We
Well,
love them. We adore our
love
Leo
them.
queens.
We have Miss Shawnee, and this lovely lady is the queen of all queens, a boss in her own right, and she gonna let you know. And we also have Miss Janelle. We love Janelle. Janelle was on the show last year. She's coming back to bring all that wit, wisdom, and quips. We love to hear all of what Janelle has to say. Ladies, whenever you're ready. Hey, we have Shawnee in the building and Queen Janelle. Hello, both queens. Miss Janelle, hit that unmute so we can hear you.
Hey, y'all.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, ladies, so much for joining.
Beautiful
How are
angels.
you?
Amazing. So
All
good.
right. Well, you both are Leos, and just a quick reminder for those that don't know, Shawnee is a Leo sun, Scorpio moon, Leo rising. So a lot of fixed energy there. And Janelle has a Leo sun, Gemini moon, and Libra rising. So she can tell it like it is and look good doing it. So we are here, ladies. Thank you so much. So when people say Leos, like when you find out, I'm a Leo, what is your interpretation of what a Leo means to you? Janelle?
Star of the show, center of attention, bright, sunny dispositions and spirits, very loyal, charismatic, charming, that type of vibe.
Okay. What about you, Shawnee?
I definitely hear stubborn, flirtatious, definitely center of attention. Yeah.
I feel like all of that is absolutely 100% accurate.
Leos know how to lead center stage. Okay, so we decided today's topic was going to be pride. And that is what we took from Leo's and Leo season. So bear with me. Here is the definitions we got for it. A sense of one's own proper dignity or value, self-respect, pleasure or satisfaction taken in an achievement, possession, or association, arrogant or disdainful conduct, treatment, haughtiness, a cause or source of pleasure or satisfaction, the best of a group, the most thriving or successful condition, an excessively high opinion of oneself, conceit, mettle or spirit in horses, a group of lions usually consisting of related females and their offspring, and a small number of unrelated males.
Yeah.
So much to unpack in those many definitions of pride. Like, there's so much there.
Some of it's even conflicting.
Right. That was part of what drew us to this topic, because a lot of times when we pick things, the through line of the definitions is pretty straightforward, whether it's positive or negative. But this is a very interesting word to break down because it does have both positive and negative meanings, and that swing quite far in either direction, So, Tanae, you want to start with the questions?
Yes. Okay, so the first question is going to be, when was the last time you were proud of someone else? Let's see. Shawnee, you can go first on this one.
Yeah. So I have two, well, I have plenty siblings, but I have 2 younger brothers that have definitely been wowing me for, over the last couple of years, just watching them blossom into beautiful ass young men. If I could say Black excellence, decadence, like everything. I mean, it is them. So my younger one, my chubby wubby little brother, his name is Kimari. And he's in school right now to become an airplane mechanic. And I love that for him because we don't have one of those in the house. So we love that. And then my other brother, he is been doing his thing with film. So he's always all over the place. Every time I call him, text him, check the location, he's somewhere else. And he's just been working on some really huge projects. And I love him for like pushing through it because y'all know about the strike with the writers and everything. So he's pushing through all of those things, navigating through all of that because it is definitely difficult right now, but they are both making things happen and they make it look sexy. And I love that for my little brothers.
All right.
Aw, that's great.
Janelle.
Can't clap for them.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring up two different subjects too. So for one, I'm a mother to a now 3-year-old. And when I tell you, I've never had the experience of like everything she does fascinates me. And I'm just like Leo moms definitely are the ones that always got the camera out and like every single thing that they do that the rest of the world will be like, okay. I think it's just milestone, wonderful achievements. And then as a Leo too, with my friends, when they progress, I feel like they are like, those are my achievements. Like one of my best friends just got promoted maybe like a couple weeks ago. And I was like, we did that. Yeah, we did that. You feel me? Because I know how much they put into their personal lives, their daily lives. And it's just wonderful to see them elevate, especially when you know how many like long nights it's been, deep conversations you've had to have, and the things that they've had to overcome. It's very inspiring to see my friends grow and progress the way that they do.
Oh yeah.
All right.
And I can say, as somebody who has watched sweet Cancer Angel Charmy on the social media, that she's an exceptional young lady, and I enjoy seeing every single one of those achievements as much as you enjoy taping them. So, I also feel a lot of pride in watching my kids grow up. I mean, it's I had two. They're going to be 7 and 3, both in September, a Libra and a Virgo, and as you might imagine, my my Libra child, one thing that I just it's just like makes my heart grow every time I see it is he's so kind and generous to his friends and other people in his life. And like, you know, I heard him talking to one of his little buddies who's a Capricorn, and the little Capricorn boy is like, I can't, this is terrible, I'll never be able to do this. And my son's like, it's never too late. Like you can do it. I was like, oh, so
and like, you have to take credit for that too, because that's your parenting at play. Mm-hmm. Because regardless of what his sign is or what his temperament is, you will hear your kids repeat the things that are modeled in front of them all the time. And
that's true.
Sometimes I have to, I preach this to other moms too. Sometimes we really have to pat ourselves on the back because we're going so much. We catch those moments and it's like, well, I'm actually doing a pretty good job here, even though I feel like I'm falling apart all the time.
I'm keeping them more than alive.
Yes. Well, thank you. And
we're doing right, more than surviving here,
right? Because you do get stuck in loops of your own mistakes, and I know I dwell on, you know, if I snap or I'm, you know, just short with them or prioritize something else over whatever they're trying to show me. And but yeah, it's not all terrible because they're turning out pretty darn great. And my little Virgo 2-year-old just does everything for herself. And it's so heartwarming because she will not be helped. She already rules this house. I mean, James is scared of her and he's right to be. So I'm very proud of that. Today, what about you?
Oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Today's coming to Detroit. She can hang out with the
Oh.
little ones.
So I honestly, Janelle, everything you said about like rooting for your friends, and when you said it, I was like, that's exactly how I feel. So this is a shout out to one of my best friends, Kendra, Cancer Queen. She just got promoted at her job to a totally different department where she's like doing event planning, and she is an amazing cook. You would be lucky to have some of her food. But she kind of did it without anybody knowing. She was like, I know I'm qualified, and she's been working in the kitchen there, and she got the job. And I was like, just, it's just a proud moment when you see your friend, and like you said, she's a mom of 4, and so to like watch her do all that and still achieve something outside of what nobody ever thought. I'm so proud of her. She's awesome. So shout out to the people making it happen.
Heck yes.
All right, Cassie, you're up next.
All right.
Get them. I'm just kidding.
So kind of to visit the definition of pride that has to do with lions, like even though Leo is like considered a masculine sign in astrology, like that association with lions and the definition of pride in relation to lions it very much suggests a feminine power and strength. So I'm wondering, what is your female superpower? Whoever wants to start.
Mine is, my female superpower is that my juice is worth the squeeze. So I don't say nothing that I don't exude, exhibit, can show and tell. And I like that about me, because a lot of people don't have that in them. I don't talk nothing that I can't back up. So yeah, whatever you want from me is what you got, baby. The juice is worth every piece of that squeeze. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Not to keep being that mom that keeps talking about their kids, but motherhood tapped me into my feminine in a way that I can't even explain, as far as like being able to speak up for myself, advocate for myself, knowing like how to make boundaries that work for me, knowing how to meet my needs for the first time. I think a lot of my people pleasing ways went out the window once I had a kid. So like understanding I really can create and curate the energy around me, and that has a whole power in itself, has been very enlightening in this stage of my life.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I think my feminine superpower is people underestimating my feminine superpower because of the way I look and the way, I don't know, I think just people underestimate like my feminine superpower because I wouldn't stereotypically be someone that they would consider with feminine power, but I stand strong in it. And probably more so than my masculine energy, just because I'm actually more naturally feminine than masculine.
You've got those wiles, those feminine wiles.
Girl, stop.
Flip it.
We all know.
Flip my hair back and forth. Okay, your turn. See, it's right there, guys.
I feel like mine is making people feel like being able to empathize with people, and like I it's easier to, I think, for people of both gender, or all genders, I should say, not both, not a binary, whatever. But I think that it's generally easier to open up to women for whatever reason. Like typically women are tasked with caregiving and nurturing, whether it, as a mother or grandmother or aunt or whatever, or in nursing and education and all kinds of roles that we think of. So I like chatting with people. I like learning something and having an emotional exchange with someone. Like, that's satisfying to me, but also I think it's usually satisfying to that other person also. And I think it's an opportunity that comes up more because I'm a naturally empathetic person and very sensitive, but also because I'm a woman,
Okay. Okay, guys. So this next one, I'm going to go first. That way you will have time to think about this, because I did have time and Cassie had a little bit of time to think about this one. So the next question is, what is your least proud moment? Okay, so I feel so bad about this to this day, and I'm going to apologize to this person on camera after I tell you what I did. Okay, so I used to work at a restaurant, and there was a game that was started called SWAT Team. And the premise is that you were walking around as a server and you had your server book open with all your receipts and everything. And if you weren't paying attention, somebody could just yell SWAT Team, slap it out of your hand, everything would go on the ground. Yes, so that was the game. I one time decided to SWAT team somebody's cell phone out of their hand and it broke on the floor. So Dante, I'm so sorry. That was such a shitty thing. I have grown many since then. I'm sorry. That was an asshole thing for me to do. So that has been my least proud moment.
Oh, baby Tanae. That's such a mild offense. Like, I get that it's mean, but like also mine is gonna sound okay. Go ahead, or Shawnee, whoever. Not me.
Oh man, I got set karma's on my side, so I can't. It reflects quickly. It happens to me too quickly, so I have to mitigate that. Okay, wait. Do you want to go, Cassie? Give them some more time?
I was going to say, or I can, because I have had
go.
time and I thought about it. So, my least proud moments, were that I definitely have, had relations with people who I knew were in relationships, like serious ones. And you tell yourself when you're doing something like that it's like that's that person's fault. They're the one. I was single, they were the one in the relationship, they shouldn't have been doing that with me. But at the same time, not proud. Probably the least proud of anything I've done. Like, don't feel good about that. Not a decision I would make again. One, I hope some hoe doesn't try on my husband someday down the road, but Lord knows I will karmically deserve that if that happens. So
not some hoe trying on my husband.
Listen,
that's me weak.
I was that hoe over there back
the quote that keeps coming in my head is from 40-Year-Old Virgin. And she was like, she was a hoe, faux show.
If you met me between the years of 2007 and like 2012, you easily could have and would have been right with that assessment. So,
oh girl, what? This is how this show started. It was the driveway conversations. Cassie and I used to have driveway chats, and then the show was created.
Yep.
From her days and nights.
Yep.
At the restaurant. Right. Yep. Okay, ladies. You want to?
I can go first.
Okay.
It's really hard for me to. This is one of those questions I would have to keep coming back to, So mine's going to seem mild, but this is the first name that came to mind. So I've been really trying to get into or tap into like content creation and putting myself out there on the internet. And one of the fears that I have is things resurfacing from when I was really active as a young college student on Twitter and things of that nature, because I used to just say any damn thing. Have deleted accounts, but the internet is forever. We talked about that. So there's been times where I've said some really mean things about celebrities, about real people, and being a bit of a troll at times. And again, I was young and dumb. And some of the stuff that I've said now that I'm about to be 35, I would be like, that was not cool. That was not nice. And knowing like I don't think I really understood how the internet worked with it. It's forever and you literally can go viral at any time type of thing. How people can take that, even a celebrity, we might think like, oh, they get that all the time. Or you think that your comment is insignificant, but you don't know that. And me knowing a person like me, who you say one thing about me, I'm gonna be crying for weeks. Why was I acting like that and conducting myself that way on the internet? So I apologize to any and everyone who caught a stray while I was out here tweeting my life away. I don't know what years it was, but you can call for compensation at the local lawyer office.
All right.
Pain and suffering. Oh boy.
Yeah, I think it took me a second because I'm just like, what would I actually apologize for? Which is bad, but whatever.
I feel that too.
Spoken like a true Leo. Spoken like a
you
Leo with
know.
all that fixed energy. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
So I guess kind of like piggybacking off of Cassie, I have entered a relationship with someone. I was with them for a while and like months, a while. It was like 6, 7 months. And then it was disclosed that they had a partner. And in my head, I was already in it. So I'm just like, okay, I mean, if you can balance, then balance. You've been balancing this whole time. Keep balancing. So I didn't feel bad for their partner. I was in my head about how I grew these feelings. So what I feel bad about is obviously like you break it off and then your emotions are in it and then like you're crying. And I'm like very open with my shit. So I was calling my daddy, I called my mama, I called my brother, and I'm like, they did this to me. But the whole thing was, okay, baby, but you stayed. So, yes, I think I'm not proud of that because I allowed myself to sit in it. I don't feel bad for anything, honestly, because that was my experience. I don't feel bad about it. I needed to go through it to grow through it. So, I just feel bad that I knew better and I didn't do better. So my wisdom crown was not on at that moment. That's what I'm not proud about. I'm not apologetic though, but I feel bad that I sat there and I knew better.
Fair. That's totally fair. You guys, thank you for being vulnerable with us in this show. And, I hope that we all forgive ourselves for, any misdeeds we do. When we know better, we do better.
Hello.
And we're all sitting here clatching and doing great, doing our best. You know what I mean?
It takes a lot to sit with things that you've done wrong and admit it openly. It's a lot of growth that takes with that. So like even seeing like when Tanae, you could tell how emotional, like how sincere she felt about something that you even said like, oh, that's a mild offense to what I'm about to say. But it's not even about like the degree of offense, because I think that's oftentimes something like you think you have to do something big or like diabolical to look at could I have did differently in this?
Yeah.
Right.
What could I have learned from this experience?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was more of like how I treated another person, and I'm not that person. Like I don't like to be treating people unkindly. Like not even like, and I use the word kindness because that's what I mean. Like and that was just an asshole ass move. Like and that,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, and that was just unnecessary. So that's why I felt so bad. Now, if he deserved it, that would have been a whole different story. I'd have been like, fuck you in your phone. But he didn't deserve
East
that
side
shit.
stomp on it.
Bam. But he didn't deserve that. And it was so bad. I was actually talking to my roommate about it because he and I were working. He was like, today, that was just, I was like,
Mhm.
I know, I feel bad about it. But that was years ago. But go ahead. What's up,
right.
Cass? What you got?
No, okay. So this is my question for you guys. All right. So since pride does have positive and negative connotations, how do you balance using pride and feeling empowered and proud of yourself with not abusing pride and becoming egotistical or maybe manipulative potentially or self-centered?
I can go unless you.
No, yeah, go ahead. No, go
Okay.
ahead.
I think until I got into astrology where I knew like my whole chart, I never really, other than like center of attention, like wanting to entertain, related with Leo, because I'm very much someone who puts the opinions of others ahead of my own. Tapping into confidence is a new thing. It's a skill I'm building currently. And that is kind of like learning how me shining my light doesn't dim others. And how like I'm really big on telling people and needing to practice what I preach. When you don't show up as your authentic self, you block other people from their blessings because there's somebody out here waiting on you to be a light to them. And it was oftentimes where I played it safe or kind of like took the background as opposed to standing in the spotlight because I thought I was doing more work by like helping others be in the spotlight. So this is the journey into me taking up more space. So it's me trying to learn that it's okay for me to take up space. It's okay for me to shine. And that there's a lot of good that can come from it. Because I think with all of those definitions of pride, I have always thought that that type of thing was negative. Like, don't be in the spotlight. Don't be in your ego. Don't be too much. Don't be too dramatic. So I kind of like have watered myself down a lot of my life. So this is the part where I'm trying to learn how to move to the other side of it and actually be comfortable in that space.
Love that.
Yeah. I would say my prides have stages or phases. So I know for one, like my work life, my professional life, I'm not dimming it for anything. I show up to show out, like when I'm at work. And part of it is I'm a leader in any building that I step in professionally. So I have to have that degree of, oh, it's me. It's me. I have to have that level of I came up to show I came to show y'all how to get something done. And it's because I've worked so hard to be able to do those things now. So I don't have a switch at work where I'm just like, okay, let me be humble for 2 seconds when I work so hard to not be that person. So I didn't work this hard to stay where I was. So that's how I show up at work. In my personal life, sometimes I do tend to cower a little bit back, and that's because I enjoy different dynamics. So sometimes I do like to just take the lead and say, no, we're doing this, this, and that. And then I have other moments where I'm just like, no, it's okay. You can go ahead and decide. And I know even in my head, when I say, no, you can decide, it's me telling you I'm going to do what you want to do. So I'm still telling you what I want to do. I just want to do it because you want to do it at this point. So I
I feel seen because that's something you think you running stuff.
You thought that's what this was. And so I've learned like those like different things about myself, and it's been an entire journey. I wasn't as confident now, like let's just say 10 years ago when I first moved to Georgia on my own. I was wanting to step into myself more because I knew who I was, but where I was living for the past 13 years, they knew me as one person. So it was weird, a weird feeling for me to say, okay, well, this is who I'm blossoming. I came to Georgia, knew exactly who I was, and I grew and I blossomed. And now what you see is what you get. And I love me now. Had I known I was going to be this girl when I was younger, I would have been like, y'all lying. What? Huh? So yeah, I've balanced it that way. So when someone does say like, Shawnee, you're like super confident, or I have one friend who I work with professionally, and my last birthday, she was like, you're one of the reasons I believe Leo's reign supreme. And I like that because sis, we here, like we all here, like what you mean? So yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Say it because we do. That's what you want to say. It's fine.
Yeah.
This is a whole different question for you because Aquarius is not known for really being on an ego trip per se. Yet nonetheless, I'm curious how you balance out these impulses.
That's really funny because like I think
What's your moon and rising again? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
My moon is Aries and my rising is Cancer. So my moon, I tend to like. Unfortunately, my moon is also Fortunately, my moon is in the in the 10th house. So everybody knows how I feel all the time. So I think that more than anything, I try to understand the influence I have over people. I am well aware of my powers and I use them when I want to. But I try not to abuse them because I wouldn't want somebody to do that to me. So I think that's a lot of where like my whole treating people like I want to be treated, and I don't want to be abused, so I try not to abuse other people. But sometimes it happens because I'm human.
Right.
And sometimes I'm right. And then that's where my ego, although I will say this, I feel like as a Black queer woman of color that's mask presenting, I have to kind of assert my power a lot of times and not necessarily abuse it, but like I have to be over the top because I'm not always heard. And I can't, in the environment that I work in, just sit back and just be like not seen or not allowed to be myself, because just because their experiences do not reflect mine doesn't mean that I don't exist in the same space. So in that case, I'm probably, I abuse my power just because I don't have power in that situation.
I was about to say that's not really an abuse of power per se, but a little bit of a power grab. But like you said, I mean, you deserve.
You're a disruptor.
Yeah, there you go.
Believe yes, What about you, Cassandra?
I feel like mine is kind of similar to yours as far as being aware of the power I have. And typically I think the manifestation of this conflict for me is not, and no shocker here from someone with as many cancer placements as I have, that it's not egotistical or ego driven as much as it's emotion driven. So not letting my emotions overtake specifically my family, but any group I'm in. And because I can be a great source of joy and energy when I want to be, the flip of that is also true. And if I'm in a bad mood, I can easily put that out to the whole group. And I find myself apologizing a lot. I apologize a lot to my family I'm like, I'm sorry I was cranky. You know, I didn't mean, it wasn't about you. And that's all I can try and do is like be aware of it and ask for forgiveness when it's appropriate, and forgive myself also, because I can ruminate on it, just be like, why did you do that? And then you just feel that's not helpful, you know, either. So trying to let go of BS if I can. It's hard, but you know, try.
What do you want to do? One more question or?
Sure.
Okay. I like this one. Has anyone ever tried to take you down a peg? Like, has anybody ever tried to like knock you down just a little bit? Like, well, look like you. Go ahead, girl. Tell us about it.
Where do we need to go?
Right. Right. Put him up.
Definitely, it's happened at work and it's happened like personal wise. So I had started this a job, and when I came, I noticed a bunch of aspects of it that could change, that could improve. And I said, I mean, I can go ahead and do that. So when I came in, of course, I didn't come in leadership because at that moment I wanted to step back. As soon as I created this guideline that the entire company could use, it was very quick that like our territory manager at the time was just like, yeah, Shawnee, let's go ahead and like promote and move you up. And I ended up moving up that ladder relatively quickly. So what would have taken someone 6 years to do ish, it took me 1.5 to put that into light. So there was another leader there that was not thrilled about it. She didn't fancy me at all because I was very unapologetic about the things that I did, because it's to make everybody's life easier. Like, I created it, your job's gonna be easier too. So she came up with these fantastical embellishments and was letting our higher ups know these things. And again, because the juice is worth the squeeze, all of it fell on deaf ear. Like, no one believes these things. So what you thought she was about to do, you did it to yourself. So you don't ever touch me, because it's going to come right back to you 20-fold. So I warn people all the time to leave me alone, but they don't listen. They don't listen.
That's their fault.
And then
I have witnessed it too.
yeah. And then on a personal level, I've dated someone who was the apple of everyone's eye, and they made it seem as if it was a pleasure to be dating them when I'm the experience. So it was just so funny to me because, again, you don't mess with me. So, however they are right now, I won't disclose, but, I just want to say, just don't do wrong by people that no one is intimidating, you're intimidated. And that's what I feel like we need to leave that as. So there's been, a number of times someone has tried to like peg me down a little bit, but it just don't work. It don't work.
Definitely feel you on the dating aspect. There have been, first of all, we already know the dating pool has piss in it. So, but I'm good now, in a good place now. But in the past, there have been men that, like you said, are used to being the leader or the one that control the energy of the room. And they're not necessarily used to women who have that same power or an even bigger light. And that'll start to kind of get to their ego and pride a bit, and they'll be very, what I found, like passive aggressive and make underhanded comments and stuff like that to try to like put you back in place. I would say in the last 7 years have leaned into like female friendships as hard as I have, because before then I would always meet mean girl energy. Like, I'm somebody who wants everybody to have a good time. I want everybody to feel comfortable around me. I'm very friendly, and finding out time and time again, like that's not always going to be met the same way. And again, just nice nasty is what I call it. Like,
God damn. Oh,
Mhm.
that's a whole word right there. That's a whole topic.
And I used to go around saying like I don't necessarily like hanging with females because of that, because it just felt like if my energy is in the mix, there's going to be some type of clash. There's going to be some type of problem, as opposed to like when I hang out with male friends, I don't have this issue. But the issue more than anything is just like, when you do finally find your tribe, the women that you can be around is just like exponential what y'all are able to do together. There's no like hating. There's no like needing to take anyone down a peg, because we understand like we all have our own lane. And, you know, even if we decide to do the same things, that doesn't like, I'm not stealing your shine. I'm not stepping on your toes. And I think just with growth, you get discernment on like when things are what they are. Because honestly, I'm one of those people that like, I'm shocked when people are just mean for a living. To this day, I'm just like, why did you choose to be like this?
Right.
But
you really woke up choosing to be an asshole. All right.
But not excusing shit anymore, and like just being like, oh, you're not my cup of tea, and that's fine. We don't have to experience each other, because if you keep listening to the energy or the words that's being put out there that you need to be humbled, again, going back to what I said before, you will dim your own light trying to make other people comfortable. And that keeps you from not only attaining what you're here to attain, but helping other people too. So
Absolutely.
I like what you said about like not having to one up and like when you find your tribe, because I think people don't realize that everything is out there for everybody. Like there's a whole damn bread aisle in every grocery store that you go to. Wonder Bread didn't stop Sunmade from making what the hell they needed to do. It's different types of bread. Everybody can make some bread. Like literally there's an aisle. Like Toyota didn't stop, Nissan didn't stop, Honda didn't stop. I mean, everybody making something. Like everything is out there for everybody. There's no need to one up and do a competition. That kind of stuff is like beneath me, because it's like, baby, the world it's out here. What are you talking about? You as infinite as it. What do you mean?
Can't compete where you don't compare. Oh.
Hello. Okay.
And to add to what you just said, more times than not, the attention that people are trying to grab when they do that nice nasty or they have an issue with you, you don't even want those customers, if you get what I'm saying. Like, you want the people who gonna buy into you being you. If you notice people are just drawn to me, that doesn't mean like you're not that girl, you're not that guy or whatever. It's just my time. It just I got the mic right now. That's all that means. And at the end of the day, that doesn't like it's not a shot at you. There's no need to like have a existential crisis about it. Like everybody gets their time. And honestly, you attract more bees with honey. You better off being a Leo friend than picking the wrong side of the fence, baby. That's just, I'm gonna leave it at that.
I knew it was gonna be a moment in time. It wasn't gonna be enough room for all our ego. I'm just playing. Nah, Janelle, man, you know I rock and Cassie knows I have Leos are around me. My daddy was a Leo, so I
Mhm.
see y'all all the way. I would say always. I feel like I run into that quite often, mostly from we will qualify this cisgendered straight white men. Is most of the time my somebody said nemesisy. That's so funny as hell. Okay, but anyways.
Oh my goodness.
And when Shawnee said, you're not intimidating, that person's intimidated, like I don't particularly find myself to be intimidating, but I know that I'm very authentic and sure in myself, and people that are not are very uncomfortable around me. And that is not me, because I spent too long to be this beautiful, lovely, shiny, moisturized queen. I am not going to hold that back. And you don't know what people's been through either. And like to push somebody down, and just because you feel like they don't deserve to be in a certain place or say something or be in a certain room, like anything like that. Yeah, I'm not the one. It don't work out. I mean, they can try, but you know me, I'm always gonna come with receipts. Receipts. Play with Jesus, play with your mama, don't play with me now.
Ah, Jesus.
Go back. Okay.
Oh.
And Cassie, what about you?
So yeah, I mean, being a woman in space and time, somebody's always gonna try and knock you down. But particularly, I thought of my high school math teacher. My freshman and sophomore year of high school, I had the same guy who was my math teacher, and man, did it bug him that I was like a fat theater geek, sarcastic, nerdy girl. And I was the best. I was the best in our class. I didn't even have to do the homework and I could still get A's. And he had to give them to me because my test scores were so high. I would only do the amount of homework I get done in class. And I was just like, I don't even need to do more. Like, I did the math. I've done so well on the tests that I don't even, this homework doesn't matter. And like, he would find ways to ignore me if I wanted to speak up in class, or like cut me down if he could, find any kind of fault in any argument or whatever I had. And I hope he's having the life he deserves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about
And
that.
that's the part.
And it was just so dumb. Like, you are a grown man who's
On a
upset
teenager,
because
right?
a 14-year-old girl is just very good at math. Like, I don't know what to tell you, bruh. Like, I'm really fucking smart. Sorry. Like,
Was he a cis white male as well?
you already know. You already know he was. And he was short. He was like shorter than I was too. And I think that bothered him as well. And I'm just like, that's not on me. That's
Your
a you
soul chose
problem.
that body, bro, not her.
Yeah.
Your soul, like, I didn't pick that. You did.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Whatever.
Well, ladies, if you would like to promote yourselves, anything, let us know. This is your floor. You may promote. Okay.
Janelle, you're out in these streets on the internet. Shawnee, I don't know about you, but where can the people find you? Or do you not want them to find you? In which case you don't have to.
They can find me. They can find me. It's Shawnee on everything. It's ITSHAUNIE on Instagram, and just view my page with caution, because I am a body positive individual. So you will see what you gonna see on that page.
Positive body and the squeeze juice and the juice to squeeze.
Yeah.
Janelle.
Gotta be Goldie on Instagram and TikTok. You will see a lot of everything, including my exceptional child. So,
hey, we're here for that.
Lots of excellent content all around. Body positivity, mom life, relatable mom content, junk journaling, seen it all.
Yeah.
Neurodivergence. Got a lot of interesting
Yes.
topics
For all my
discussed.
squiggly brain people,
Mhm.
yes.
Well, happy early revolution around the sun for both of you lovely Leo queens. Shout out to all my
Yes.
Leos. Happy birthday. It's y'all season. You can officially put your crowns on and come on through. And thank you guys so much for spending your Sunday with us.
Yes, thank you.
And check them both out. Body Positivity, these lovely Leo queens who will continue to rule the world. So listen to them. And ladies, we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Yes.
Bye.
See you.
Thank y'all for
you.
having us.
cross
Thank you.
cross them at your own peril. I wouldn't do it. That's all I'm saying. Wouldn't be me.
All of that and then some.
I love it.
Right? That was good. I knew that was going to be a
Mhm.
conversation because they had so much. That was a good one. I like that
Yes,
one.
absolutely.
What are
Leo
we hitting?
celebrities.
Leo
Yeah, we gotta talk
celebrity
about these.
check-in?
Yeah,
Let's
we
do
gotta
these.
talk about.
All
Yeah,
right.
who you
So
starting
it
with?
is Leo season. First one, I'm gonna go for. This is a new person that's been on my radar. Her name is Michelle Buteau. She is a Leo comedian who actually shares the same birthday as J-Lo, and she tells a stand-up joke about that. But you can find her on Netflix on Survival of the Thickest. She is a body positive queen, full-figured, and loves all her figures. And that's pretty much what the show is about. So I think y'all should check it out. I think she's funny. I've had some friends be like, but you know, we're gonna shout that Leo Queen out because she's doing it.
Oh yeah. Love it. I still haven't checked out the show though. I did check out her Instagram and I found her very fun. So I'm excited to check out Survival of the Thickest. So my first celebrity check-in is with Martha Stewart, who this year became the grand dame of Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue cover models, the oldest woman to ever appear on the cover at 81, looking
Damn.
fucking fine as hell,
Girl.
especially for a white woman. Okay, like let's be real. But other than being very much a boomer on work from home, like I guess she came out and was like, we need to get people back to work. It's like, okay, grandma. But other than that, I love everything she's up to. She's making CBD products with Snoop and
Of course, best friend for life.
Right. Just out here doing whatever the fuck she wants and looking hot at 81 and like a Leo should. Fabulous hair always.
Right.
Shout out to Dan, our Leo King, for my fresh new cut.
The
Thank
Leos
you, Dan.
love the Zodiac chat line, by the way. So
Yes. Yes,
this
they
is-
do.
this is also their show. We just we just host it.
So yeah, she's my first.
Okay. My next one is also a comedian. The funny thing is I looked at this and all of these are performers. Of course, surprise, right? But this lovely lady's mom is super famous because she can hit that high note. Minnie Riperton is her mom. The lovely Maya Rudolph, who was in one of my favorite movies, Bridesmaid. Yes, of course. Why should I think that's so funny that she in the street in a dress, but the whole movie hilarity. And she's also starring in a new TV show. I do not have Apple TV, but I looked this up. It's called Loot. It looks actually really interesting. So I want to check that out. But Maya Rudolph, I stan her. I think she might also have her own production company as well.
Yeah, and I didn't know that Maya was one of your celebs because she was one of mine too. So fun fact about Maya is she is starring in the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, with April O'Neil being played by Io Idaburi from The Bear.
The Bear. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
And I'm shocked I haven't heard more about the internet hating on a black April O'Neil, but this seems like it's going to be a fucking dope ass movie. Okay. John Cena and Seth Rogen are playing Bebop and Rocksteady. Jackie Chan is Master Splinter.
Yes,
so
that's so perfect. Oh my god,
fucking ready for this film. Okay.
I'm down. Yes.
So
Okay.
Maya, in true Leo fashion, you get two takes and appreciations because you were on my list.
Listen, I know. Well, she's just, I feel like she was also not necessarily underrated, but like she's so good.
Yeah.
Like,
I
and
think
so
you're right.
naturally funny, even on
Mhm.
SNL and just all the characters she played on there. Like, she's just, she found her where she was supposed to be. And yeah, shout out Maya, like she said, she gets those too. Okay,
Yeah.
so my last one will always reign Queen Supreme. I don't care what anybody says. For me, she is my Queen of Wakanda. She is the only woman who can get her groove back. She could also play Trey's mom in Boys in the Hood. Cuba, yes, she was your mama. But nobody could light some shit on fire like her in Waiting to Motherfucking Exhale. We know I'm talking about Queen Angela Bassett. I mean, that lady, that dear grand being of soul, Black woman, feminine, Leo, star, everything, mother is Angela Bassett. That's it. Like, hands down.
Yeah, I saw her photographed next to Kim Kardashian at, I think, the front row of a Dolce & Gabbana or a show in Italy. And she's just like her golden aura like comes through in photographs. She's been in so many iconic roles and is just,
oh my God, what's love got to do with, I even
Yes.
forgot about that. I forgot. Like, and you know what's crazy?
biopic.
Still ain't got no Oscar.
She doesn't need that gold man statue. She is a gold woman
That
all
part.
on her own.
Because clearly after the strike, nobody's gonna give a fuck.
Shit, right? So my last celeb, since you did not, I thought this was gonna be on your list. So since he's not, I'll put him on mine.
I was, but I knew somebody would come through. Put him
Right.
on. Who we got?
You know, our 44, the man who gave us hope in the White House, President Obama, Barack Obama, as James called him, President Obama bombs, because he was little, didn't really know how to pronounce it, but he thought the whole Trump presidency that President Obama was the president, and I let that roll. I did. I was like, sure,
Yeah.
he's the president you have to worry about. But no, President Obama is out here telling the world the truth about climate change, talking about how it's fucked up that we spent, 8 news cycles on the Titan sub when, hundreds of migrants died off the coast of Greece on, sailing vessel. Like, he's not doing the typical Leo thing of trying to take the spotlight for himself. I think he's really focusing on working behind the scenes, but he has that vision and that, I think, that eye for leadership that he's helping train the next generation of leaders. And I salute him, man. Like, he think he did his best with the cards he was dealt in the White House. And of course, there are things you can and should be critical about that happened under his watch. But on the overall, as much as any American president has ever been, he was a good one. And he gave a shit about the people. And for Michelle, that Capricorn queen, to have stayed with him this whole time, he must be doing something right.
And their kids are adults now.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Malia is writing. She wrote Swarm for Prime Video, or for that Prime Video, that Swarm, that pseudo Beyonce.
Sure.
And I think his other daughter's at Stanford or Harvard or one of those. So
I think that's right.
I mean, they for me, I'm gonna speak for myself and the Black people that I know. That presidency, that family, that was the epitome of what Black excellence was. That is like what we lived up to. And anything that was said about that, a president behind him that was accused of, if any of those things had ever been uttered about him, he wouldn't have lasted 6 months. Somebody would have found a way to get him out. So I just commend him for being the man that he is, because like you said, we don't even know the battles he's fought. You know what I mean? Just like we can't even imagine.
If a 20th of the dirt, if he had a 20th of the dirt that man that succeeded him had,
exactly, there you go.
It would have been found. And to your point, it would have excluded him. He would have been out in the primary. There's no way. You find out he had been sued one time. He had done something, made a comment about someone one time. Nope. Done. Okay. Never would have happened.
Guys, we do know. You keep saying the quiet part out loud. We already know that. So, and on that note, let's hit this question.
Yes. Oh, wait.
Oh, before we hit the question, though.
Yeah, we got to run through. We got to run through Leo season for the Leos. So where are we at today? This moment?
So today, girl, I got my little. The Sun, Mercury, and Venus are all in Leo, but Venus is retrograde. We just had the new moon pass in Cancer a couple days ago, about a week ago. We won't have a new moon in Leo until next month, the 17th of August. We have Mars that just moved into Virgo about a week and a half ago. Jupiter and Uranus are both still in Taurus, and the North Node moved to Aries a couple weeks ago. We have Saturn and Neptune both still retrograde in Pisces, and Pluto is retrograde in Capricorn, but we will have our next full moon. It will be in Aquarius on August the 1st.
Mm-hmm. And not a ton really happening in the planets other than all of these. Yeah, right. We don't need more. We truly do not. Other than all these retrogrades, we get our full moon in Aquarius. Mercury enters Virgo on the 28th of July. And then we have the new moon in Leo on the 17th. And then we get more fuckery. We get another start to a sign like we had with this one, where the sun entered Leo the same day a planet in Leo went retrograde. Next month, it's going to be, next month, it will be the sun entering Virgo the same day that Mercury goes retrograde in Virgo. And more retrograde fuckery will happen in Virgo season. We'll talk about that on our next show. So for now, keep it cool. Don't take it personal.
Literally, find an icebox somewhere.
Well, yeah, for real. Yeah, get yourself a fan. And you know, I think that a lot of people are, truly, like, the heat makes people feel insane, but I think people are really struggling out there right now. It's a hard time to be a person in the world. All of this retrograde energy is energy focused inward, which can really feed into negative mental patterns if you have them. So I was thinking about a couple things that I like to do to center myself and comfort myself when those feelings come for me, and I'm going to share them. Okay. One is, I remember that I am made of the same stuff as the origins of the universe. And there's something magical and special about that. We're a part of the cosmos here for a reason. So that's pretty cool. Number one. Number two is, I look at not directly at the sun, because again, I'm not that man who is so stupid, who was the leader of our country for a while. But you look at a sunny sky, or you go out and look at the moon. And I think about the fact that all of my ancestors saw that same sun and moon. You know what I mean? Like, there's something really powerful about that. And just be like, okay, this is yet another part of human history. We can do it. We're going to do it. We're going to figure it out, I guess.
One of the biggest things that gives me hope is that once Pluto moves into Aquarius, in the age of Aquarius, there is a lot more of us than there is of them, and a lot more people who want to kind of live more of a community-based type of life and energy, understanding that, like, if we all don't make it, none of us ain't gonna make it. And that's as it gets. Like, no holds barred, no joke. If we all don't make it, ain't nobody make it. And none of us getting out of here live. But bitch, I'm not trying to burn like this. I mean, I'm good. I'm gonna get a cute little dark skin tone from the sun, but damn, we don't need all this chocolate melting. Okay.
No, certainly not. Certainly not.
Okay, so we got a question, I think from TikTok. Cassie, what do we got? What's going on?
So the folks on the talk love to send us their big threes. So we've got one to talk about, and we kind of wanted to talk about this person's big three and kind of what they might experience related to our current season. So this one comes from Sky, and her @ is Hey Sky Baby.
Hey Sky Baby.
Thank you for dropping your deets. So Sky is a Leo sun, Libra moon, Taurus rising, a remix of my son's big three. So what do you think that Sky with her
the Leo
self,
stellium, right?
Yes. Might be experiencing this Leo season?
You know what? I think really big rewards, because I think last Leo season was probably lots of lessons and I don't want to say forced, but maybe guided change that someone with that much fixed energy has a very difficult time adjusting to. And so I think that the last Leo season, because the nodes were in Taurus and Scorpio, especially the North Node was on Taurus, that a lot of change and transformation and things that were not absolutely working for her had to change. And now she is just seeing some beautiful rewards from all of the things that she thought that she wanted to hold on to. And now that she let them go, I feel like she is going to have one of the best birthdays because she has allowed herself to grow from that.
Hell
What
yeah.
do you think?
I think that's right. I think it's probably been a rough year and a half or so as all of our fixed sign friends have been going through it. And really, I mean, the Taurus Scorpio axis for these nodes had a lot of us looking at the tension between what we feel comfortable in and where we feel safe and our deepest secrets and our, dark desires and our shadow self. And that's a lot. It's just really intense. It is. And I think that, Leos vibe well with their season. And so with all this Leo energy, it's, I agree that I think probably she's finally getting some rewards for that emotional turmoil of the past year and a half or so. But also with that, especially that Venus retrograde, it's still a matter of you're not quite at the point where you can run full speed ahead. It's take the time to feel proud of yourself and enjoy yourself, but do it in a way that's you're not feeling like you're having to put everything on the line yet, because that time will come and she'll be ready for it and empowered to do it. But right now it's really a time to check the details, make sure everything is exactly the way you want it to be. And maybe by Libra season,
that's exactly, because I was thinking with your birthday seasons, every time they come around for everyone, it's kind of a reevaluation of the last year or so ish. And even through your season, it's really a time to really celebrate yourself and kind of find out who you are. And I think especially with the Venus retrograde, really seeing what your true self-worth means to you and not how it might be from others, but really from you. And like you said, especially because Libra season blends fairly well with Leo's, that I think
she's got a Libra moon.
Yeah. And I think that Virgo season's going to be just the finishing touches for her to put everything together. And then, like you said, Libra season, I think she's just going to feel a lot better about the past year.
Yeah. And we're going to have come out of some of this intense retrograde energy by the time we get to Libra season. Venus will be back in forward motion by early September. Mercury will have come and gone out of retrograde between Virgo season and into the end of Virgo season. And then once Pluto goes direct on the 10th of October, toward the end of Libra season, then we're really starting to cook with gas. We're starting to get away from some of this stuckness. I think one thing for her to sort of think about and be mindful of with the North nodes switching to Aries and Libra, since she does have a Libra moon. Now, the North Node is in Aries. I shouldn't say the North Node switched to those two signs. The nodal axis switched to the Aries-Libra axis. So the North Node is in Aries and the South Node is in Libra. And as a refresher, the South Node is what we're moving away from. We're moving toward the North Node path. And so this is going to be a time for all of us, but especially her with her Libra moon, to really think about, how am I doing things in a way that aligns with myself? And I'm not compromising on behalf of everybody else's comfort. And that's for all of us to think about, but maybe Sky especially.
Not me. I got an Aries moon. I got to think about my comfort. I don't give a fuck about nobody else.
Well, good. You're set up to go. This is going to be very easy for you. But best,
yes.
Happy solar return, Sky. Thank
Yes,
you
girl.
for the follow. Thank you for leaving your info. We appreciate the chance to chat about it. And please, Cardinal, no offense to Sky, but to the Cardinal and mutable sign people, please follow us. We have nothing but fixed signs in our DMs. It's crazy. It's actually crazy. So I'm gonna need some of the rest of y'all to step up.
If y'all aren't too busy, because I feel like the cardinal signs and the mutable signs are either too busy doing a bunch of stuff or too busy starting
or too tired.
Yeah, or too busy starting a bunch of stuff, but not like the fixed energy to be like, we gonna stay with these people. That's why we got the big. They gonna be the ride. That's right. We loyal, fixed energy. My fixed energy people stand up, even though I have cardinal energy and the rest of my big three. I'm actually happy with that mixture. It's probably really helpful. Oh, you and I, same. Actually, same.
Double cardinal, one fixed.
Same.
So yeah, same. Mm-hmm.
Look at. All right. Before we get out of here, we of course couldn't leave without giving you some power of love.
I'm so glad you sang it. I was thinking the same thing.
It says psychic. This is by James Van Praagh. And these are activation cards and in honor of Leo season. Since, in case you guys did not know, Leo is ruled by the heart. It is also the 5th house of romance, play, all of those things. I figured the power of love would be a good one, especially with Venus in retrograde. So I would say take this message for how you want to love yourself, and in turn be able to put that love out to others. As the lovely RuPaul says, I'm not quoting it exactly, but if you know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Aretha Franklin's Respect. You value everyone's unique perspective on the path to love.
Oh,
there we go.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Respect. Okay. It is important for you to remember that everyone in this physical dimension has their own journey, filled with struggles and obstacles that are different from yours. They chose their life blueprint just as you chose yours. It is not your job to judge how they discovered their way to love. Rather, it is your job to encourage them. By showing respect, you earn respect. When someone comes into your space, they are immediately aware of your level of integrity and your willingness to help others. You carry yourself with a certain natural strength and people look up to you. When you receive admiration, you may become a role model, and you have the responsibility of setting an example. As a role model, you must demonstrate love in all situations and a sense of compassion in every interaction. There is no greater way to gain respect than to accept others as equal and fellow soul travelers. It never fails, huh?
All right. Mm-hmm. I like that. That's a good reminder.
Never fails. So think about that, guys, this week. How are you showing up with respect, and how are you respecting others and those around you? Everybody's on a journey. Everybody has their own perspective. Everybody is living their own existence in their own world. It's not always about you. So,
And that's on that.
and we thank you, Shawnee and Janelle, so much for joining us. Once again, shout out to all the Leos that are having birthdays, those that have been on the show, and those that continue to watch us and support us from afar. We thank you. Guys, help save the planet. Cassie's rant was so for real. If we all can't get saved, we all going down. So think about that during this hot ass Leo season. Take time for yourself. As always, Cassie, it's all love. And we out, because what?
We love you, Bree.
Thank you.